So the idea of the platform is bringing in different sources of information, such as your company and your product data, the customer personas that you are targeting, the customer history from your CRM systems or from notes that the sellers are taking, and put all of these into definitive and understandable use cases by your sales team, such as, for example, customer target outreach plans or sales planning or pipeline planning, or even more sophisticated value map and ROI calculations that can be used in sales enablement and sales optimization cycles. Let's assume you have Axcive Qesa platform integrated to your platform. So we have data from your products, we have data from your CRM, and the salesperson who's working on a new engagement. This engagement could be imported directly from the CRM, or they could just create an engagement. So let's say they will work with Southwest Airline and they'll try to sell to them Sitecore Content Hub. And let's name that engagement as CH2. You can add some notes. And here you are, you have that engagement. So either leverage the data that is integrated into the platform, or you can also add more data. Maybe you have specific notes, maybe file, for example, customer interaction history being taken into notes. So for example, so I simulate that situation, for example. So I had that fictional customer history log simulating a history of transactions between Southwest and Sitecore with some names and managers' engagements since 2021. And you see here, like, there's demonstrations, some challenges in our account, the current situation, for example, and the next steps, focus points, some problems with centralization of data, for instance, budget limitations, etc. So I'll feed all of that into the platform. Retrieve that file, load it, select type, that is customer history. Let's process it. So this simulates some of the data that should come from the CRM. And I can also add more information about the product itself. I can add text, some notes that have been taken. Can add more data about the company. Get additional data about the product itself. Or I can add different integration points. The data about the customer should be stored in the CRM or coming from the external system. In this case, I'm just putting the About Us page. So it reflects the priorities and objectives for Southwest in the current moment. So the analysis will start, and the system now is trying to digest all of this information, building what's called value map. So it's understanding the customer objectives, current, and the relative priorities for that seller now to focus on, based on what the Sitecore, in this case, Sitecore Content Hub, starting by understanding what are the business objectives of that customer. They have a focus on content management, enhancing campaign management, etc. You see here some of the data that we had in the document about the content sprawl, for example, being considered in the objectives that we should focus on and the risks that we can help the client avoid, like giving them some key PIs impacts and give them risk avoidance, revenue growth, productivity improvement, operational costs, tips, and points to start from. And each of these can be edited or changed by the salespeople themselves. Then it gives salespeople some of the business cases, like what to focus on. Cost saving, for example, they should focus on how South Airlines could achieve 20% reduction, etc. Scalability for future growth, improved data management. So all of these are business cases that the salespeople can embed into their presentation or use directly from here. Staffing cost. So you see hitting on the objectives that Southwest is focusing on using the product that we are trying to sell. So after understanding what this client about, then make sure that we have some personas added in the system. Again, this could be uploaded using a file, or you can integrate them directly from your system. But in this case, I just add, let's say, a technical manager. So I create that persona, back to the engagement. And I'll create an outreach plan that try to target this persona now. Let's say the name is Ru, for example. And we'll plan the cadence to take 50 days. Make it nice to reach. And we start creating the cadence. The system will create a list of emails, phone calls through across 50 days of engagement. Each of these can be edited. And some of the data coming from the engagement history. So ask them to send a case study, ROI analysis preparation. Okay. The potential saving of efficiency for Southwest Airlines. So you're following up was really adding value to the conversation and following kind of a value and business understanding approach into this client, even closing because of that budget constraints. So giving that hand to the salespeople to focus on. So I can imagine your sales SDR is following up and they have this understanding for their clients. Can delete any of these steps, mark them progress, completed. Or you can create another cadence for another person in the organization. One of the use cases we provide to allow the users to chat with Chatbot. So you can hear me prepare for the next meeting. For the meeting for Southwest here, where Southwest Airlines taking care of the personas and the history, strategy, relationship. If that's too much, like give me the one thing I should focus on to close this deal. Prepare detailed ROI analysis. By the way, we are training AI and giving it value selling best practice materials in the sales world to get the advices and recommendations for salespeople. So it's not just about the structure of the platform and how it helps people understanding the data, but also how it embeds the sales practices into the platform. One of the other capabilities, see the value selling plan. So this kind of a pipeline for this engagement. So this is the salesperson following the value selling approach to close this deal from the discovery, qualification, evaluation, closing. And you see here, like it's like, what are the meetings, what they should take care of. There's some of the scripts that can be used in a phone call, for example, here. So personalized to this engagement, when to propose a demo, what to do while they are trying to close the deal, when to talk about the pilot project. So this is kind of a plan for the salesperson himself. Of course, there are different kinds of ROI calculations, such as total cost of ownership calculation, relative and comparative ROI calculations. But in this one, we're giving quick start for your salesperson to be able to map the business values and priorities of their clients and make an offering that proves how it can really be useful for them. So as you see, the parameters generated on the screen are related to the product itself and how can it help Southwest Airlines in this case. So you start to see the number of campaigns, the conversion rate increase, cost reduction. And if you want to change any of these, it's giving you that sense of how to approach a client with something relative, with something monetary relative. You can change these percentages, merging the AI and the human capabilities into one platform. You can download it, you can save it, you can share it with your clients. One thing that we should have talked about in the beginning is the qualification with AI, qualifying the opportunities for SDRs. So it saves them time. You can approve any of these to show how much this opportunity is qualified. For example, CTO, key decision maker. The questions that you should ask in this case to get the right information for you to qualify better this opportunity, for example. And all of these questions are personalized based on the customer data and the customer interaction history we had in the platform. So this is a quick overview of the use cases that we built. And we, of course, keep building together, validate based on the quality of the outputs, what is really enhancing the performance of your salespeople, and take it from there. Thank you. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and take good care.